Good morning, scholars. I want to give you a brief overview of the things I want you to learn about Gemini. One of the first things I want you to do is make sure you're expanding this menu on the left side. Google calls each interaction with Gemini a chat, and that's a good way to think of it. You're chatting with a very quick, very powerful, very well read, and eager to please assistant. Now, we are working on a paper. This is my Doc 1. As many of you have already done, you've used Gemini to give you an overview of whatever academic issue you want to write about in this paper. I'm doing managing test anxiety in college, and I used this prompt to get Gemini to list me all of this material here. Great. I have some questions, though, about self-doubt, and I want to explore that a little bit. And here's what I want you to get accustomed to doing with Gemini. Again, thinking of it as an assistant, you can use it to drill down into topics, and so that you learn more about that topic. Also, so that you can learn how to support your topics and support the things Gemini tells you with authoritative sources. So let's go back to Gemini. I said, well, let me just get an overview of all the issues that first-year college students usually have. And these are the things that Gemini generated for me. And I chose test anxiety. So I start to drill down on test anxiety. And that's where all of this stuff came from that I put into my paper. I say in the above response, you say self-doubt. Self-doubt, returning students may question their ability to succeed academically, especially if they have been out of school for a long time. Now notice I'm quoting exactly what Gemini says. In 500 words, explain why returning students might question their ability to succeed academically and suggest strategies that they can use to cope with this anxiety. Gemini gives me this cute little response, really in less than 60 seconds. And I say, okay, well, that's pretty good. But how do I know this is true? For instance, it says, set realistic goals. Establishing achievable goals can help alleviate the pressure to be perfect. Is that true? Sounds reasonable. But where did Gemini get that? Did it just make it up? Remember, artificial intelligence tools can hallucinate. In other words, they want to give you something. If they can't find it, they'll just make it up. How can I support that in this essay that I'm trying to write? One of the problems is Gemini sounds so damned reasonable. But I have to keep in mind, just like Google tells me down here, Gemini can make mistakes, so double check it. Okay, well, how do I do that? Well, one of the easiest ways is to go down to the bottom of the response and Google it. And I can enter prompts or what is test anxiety for students? I click that and I get this initial response, and it tells me where it got it, from kidshealth.org. I don't know about them. Plus it's dealing with kids. I really am more interested in this. The University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Wow, that's an authoritative source. I like that. So let's look at what the UNC Learning Center has to say. This looks like a pretty good article for me to read. Ooh, here's a more important thing. Look at that. Because they're a university, they're accustomed to providing their sources. And here are sources that, and they give me links. That's nice too. Okay, lots of good sources here that I can use. This starts making me feel a little bit better. It's also going to make your teachers feel much better because these are the kinds of sources that your teachers want you to bring. Let me tell you just briefly why they want you to do that. If you read this and understand it well enough to use it in your own essay writing, your teachers assume you have learned something about a topic, whatever the topic is. And often the teacher will assign a topic to you. I want you to learn something about test anxiety, for instance, and how to cope with it. Because if you don't learn something valuable, something that you can support with authoritative resources, then basically you have nothing to share with a reader. Keep that in mind. You have nothing to say, so don't say it. Of course, you have to say it. I'm asking you to write an essay. Then do the learning up front. You have to learn. So you could go here, Google it, and Gemini will link you to resources through Google search. That's nice. And if we go back and look, oh, that's nice. I've got Loma Linda University School of Medicine. They've got something about causes of test anxiety. I'll bet that's good. Here's oxfordlearning.com. The .com is a bit of a turnoff. If it looks really good, you might try it out. But lots of .com, that .com means commercial site. This is a commercial site. They're trying to sell you something. Most of the time, those sites don't work out so well in academic essays. They'll tell you whatever they need to tell you to get you to buy their service or product. So they are suspect at best. But here's another one. And it's sponsored. That means you know that it's a commercial site. UCLA Health, that could be pretty darn good. Mayo Clinic, they've got lots of authority. University of Colorado at Boulder, University of Northern. Okay, here's Harvard University Academic Resource Center. Okay, guys, there's 8 or 10 resources for this short 800-word essay that I'm writing. Those sources, well, any teacher in the school will accept those. That's what I expect to see in your documents tomorrow. So get to it. Thanks much, and if you have any questions, you know how to reach me. I'll see you guys on the net. Bye.